This is my prime example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the narrative.
And we are awaiting Mayor Henyard to arrive. We'll give another 5 minutes.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard delayed.
In the small town of Dalton, Illinois, a political saga is playing out that seems as dramatic as any thriller. At the heart of the storm is Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton and supervisor of nearby Thornton Township. Her administration has been plagued by a series of explosive allegations, including financial mismanagement, abuse of power, and using the local government for personal gain. Despite growing calls for her resignation and investigations into her actions, Henyard refuses to step down. Her rise to power was anything but smooth. It was marked by fierce disputes, calculated political maneuvering, and a reputation for aggressive governance. While her ascent to office was a messy one, her fight to hold on to power has become even more dramatic. Critics accuse her of exploiting her position not to serve the people of Dalton, but to bolster her own authority. They claim she has rewarded loyal allies while punishing anyone who dares to challenge her. Allegations of financial misconduct, questionable dealings with local businesses, and a pattern of using executive orders to eliminate political opposition have only fueled the growing controversy surrounding her. Each new scandal seems to further erode public trust in Henyard's leadership. As investigations into her conduct continue, many residents of Dalton are left wondering whether she ever cared about the town's best interests, or if she was more focused on maintaining control at any cost. Despite the mounting pressure, Henyard remains defiant. The scandals have done little to shake her resolve, and she continues to face down her critics. Legal challenges are piling up, and public opinion is increasingly divided, yet she shows no signs of relinquishing control. Rather than retreating in the face of opposition, Henyard has doubled down on her bold political moves. Her actions have only intensified the divisions within the community, leaving Dalton at a political crossroads. For some, Henyard is a fighter, taking on entrenched interests and standing firm in the face of adversity. For others, she is an entrenched politician, unwilling to accept responsibility for her actions, refusing to face the consequences of her decisions. As Dalton grapples with the challenges of a deeply divided leadership, the town's future seems to hang in the balance. Henyard's relentless battle to retain power has cast a shadow over the community, and the weight of ongoing scandals has left many questioning what lies ahead for the town. The pressure on Henyard has never been greater. Whether she can navigate the growing opposition and manage to hold on to power remains uncertain. One thing is clear: the political drama in Dalton is far from over. The eyes of the community are fixed on their embattled mayor, and the outcome of this ongoing saga is anyone's guess. As legal challenges mount and public opinion grows more polarized, Henyard's hold on power will be tested like never before. Will she be able to weather the storm, or will the weight of the scandals and the growing opposition finally bring her down? Only time will tell. But Dalton's political future is now inextricably tied to one woman's fight to stay in control.
Tonight, if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination.
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here.
The political storm surrounding Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and supervisor of Thornton Township, took a dramatic turn at the recent Democratic caucus. What was expected to be a routine political event quickly escalated into an all-out political brawl. Henyard, desperate to secure her place on the ballot for re-election, faced a major setback when her slate of candidates was incomplete. Notably missing was a certified assessor, an essential requirement for a valid nomination. This oversight left her vulnerable, opening the door for Illinois State Senator and Democratic Committeeman Napoleon Harris to make his move. Without wasting time, Harris presented a full slate of candidates, effectively securing the nomination and sidelining Henyard in a highly publicized defeat. This moment marked a significant turning point in Thornton Township politics, especially since it was the first time in 30 years that the Democratic Party had chosen to use a caucus instead of a primary. The drama that followed only deepened the political divisions in the town. The caucus revealed deep rifts within the local Democratic Party, exposing a power struggle that had been brewing for some time. Known for her combative leadership style, Henyard found herself on the losing end of a political battle she had seemingly underestimated. Her administration had been embroiled in controversies ranging from financial misconduct to accusations of using her office for personal gain. Yet this latest defeat was a substantial blow to her political ambitions, highlighting not only her vulnerabilities but also the growing resistance within her own party. The use of the caucus process allowed for backroom deals, strategic alliances, and political maneuvering to play a crucial role in the outcome. Harris, a seasoned political player, positioned himself as a stabilizing alternative to Henyard's increasingly unstable leadership. His ability to field a complete slate of candidates demonstrated his political savvy and organizational strength, delivering a decisive blow to Henyard's bid for re-election. In the aftermath of her loss, Henyard found herself scrambling for options. Political analysts quickly began examining the broader implications of this stunning defeat. Was it the beginning of the end for Henyard's once promising career? Or could she still claw her way back into contention? While she may have lost this crucial battle, Henyard is known for her resilience. She has repeatedly shown that she is not one to give up without a fight. The question now is whether she can recover, or if the mounting controversies and public scrutiny will finally take their toll. Henyard's response to the defeat only fueled the drama. Storming out of the caucus in a fit of fury, she accused Harris and his team of orchestrating an illegal process designed to sabotage her re-election bid. Refusing to accept the outcome, she lashed out, calling Harris a coward and vowing to sue everyone involved. "They can't beat me," she declared defiantly, insisting that the caucus was held instead of a primary simply to block her from running altogether. Her supporters rallied behind her, echoing her outrage and claiming voter suppression. They accused Harris of rigging the process by allowing his backers to enter the venue first, effectively shutting out Henyard's supporters, some of whom were left waiting outside in freezing temperatures. This only fueled further resentment and anger among her base, highlighting the intense factionalism within the local Democratic Party. Despite the heated atmosphere, Henyard remained resolute. She insisted that her political career was far from over. When asked what she would do if she failed to secure the nomination, her response was unwavering. "What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not going anywhere." This defiant stance came as no surprise to those familiar with her leadership style, which has long been characterized by controversy, defiance, and an unwillingness to back down. Amidst the political drama, another layer of controversy surfaced concerning Henyard's spending habits. Reports surfaced claiming that Henyard had used township credit cards for personal expenses, including lavish trips, luxury shopping sprees, and other questionable purchases. One particularly shocking revelation exposed that Henyard had spent a staggering $43,000 on Amazon in a single day. This left taxpayers stunned and demanding answers. For many, this was seen as proof that Henyard had prioritized personal gain over responsible governance, undermining the trust of those who had elected her to lead. As scrutiny over her spending and leadership decisions intensified, Henyard's political opponents seized the opportunity to challenge her. The defeat at the caucus at the hands of Harris and his slate sent a clear signal that the political tide was turning against her. It was a humiliating loss, leaving many to wonder if her once formidable grip on power was finally starting to unravel. Yet, despite the mounting challenges, Henyard has shown no signs of backing down. She remains steadfast in her belief that she is the rightful leader, convinced that her opponents are simply out to destroy her career. If there is one thing Henyard has demonstrated throughout her time in office, it's her relentlessness. Even as lawsuits loom, investigations continue, and public trust in her leadership reaches an all-time low, she remains undeterred in her pursuit of power. With her political capital dwindling and her ability to rally support diminishing, the question remains, can Henyard make a comeback, or is this the final chapter in one of the most scandal-ridden political careers Dalton and Thornton Township have ever seen? One thing is certain, Henyard's story is far from over. The political landscape in Thornton Township has been irreversibly shaken, and the power dynamics that once seemed unshakable are now in flux in ways no one could have anticipated. As this epic political battle continues to unfold, the question remains, will Henyard reclaim her position, or will she be forced to confront the consequences of her actions? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, The drama surrounding her tenure is growing more intense by the day. The financial mismanagement in Dalton, Illinois, under Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership, has taken a shocking turn. A damning report, compiled by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was brought in as a special investigator, paints a grim picture of Dalton's finances. The town's once healthy general fund, which boasted a surplus of over $5 million just 2 years ago, has plummeted to a staggering $44 million deficit. The investigation uncovered widespread misuse of village funds, including egregious overtime payments within the police department. Astonishingly, 2 officers were reported to have earned more in overtime than their actual salaries, with one reportedly pocketing over $100,000 in additional pay. Meanwhile, the median income of Dalton residents stands at just $24,000, leaving them to bear the financial burden of these mismanagement issues. However, reckless spending isn't the only problem under Henyard's leadership. She has also been accused of abusing her position to consolidate power, sparking outrage among residents and political observers alike. One of the most controversial aspects of her tenure is her alleged use of the Dalton Police Department as her personal security force. Critics argue that diverting officers to protect Henyard during personal errands and public appearances is a blatant misuse of taxpayer-funded resources. This practice has weakened public safety in a town already struggling with crime and underfunded law enforcement. Former Dalton Police Chief Robert Collins, whom Henyard controversially fired, condemned her actions as a waste of resources. The alleged abuse of power extends beyond personal security, with reports of retaliation against local businesses. Several business owners have claimed they were targeted with police raids after refusing to contribute to Henyard's civic events. One owner even took the matter to the FBI, accusing the administration of using its power to punish those who didn't financially support Henyard. If these allegations prove true, they paint a deeply troubling picture of an elected official exploiting her authority for personal gain rather than serving the public. Henyard's controversial behavior doesn't end with the police department. She has also been accused of interfering with the Dalton Park District, an entirely separate government entity. The Park District claims that Henyard's administration issued over $2,000 in citations for routine maintenance tasks, like installing playground equipment and spreading mulch. Park District President Sally Jones strongly condemned the interference, stating, "We don't play politics here. Do not put us in the middle of politics by issuing these political citations." Things took a darker turn when reports emerged that Henyard allegedly blocked 2 grants worth over $500,000, which were designated for park improvements. These actions could have cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars and deprived children of much-needed, safe, and clean recreational spaces. As the list of allegations continues to grow, so does the image of Henyard's tenure, marked by corruption, political maneuvering, and a relentless pursuit of power. The people of Dalton, once hopeful for effective leadership, now find themselves caught in a never-ending cycle of scandals and political drama. Investigations are ongoing, and community frustration is mounting. Many residents are left wondering how much longer Henyard can cling to power before the weight of these controversies finally forces her administration to collapse. One thing is certain: this is no longer just a local issue, but a full-blown political storm with consequences that could extend far beyond Dalton. The future of Henyard's leadership remains uncertain, but the damage already inflicted on Dalton's reputation and finances could be lasting.
Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing.
In just 7 minutes, Tiffany Henyard was ousted as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, a dramatic and emotional departure that was far more than a simple procedural loss. It marked the culmination of years of controversy, misconduct allegations, and a leadership style that many have described as ruthless and vindictive. This isn't the first time Henyard has been accused of using her position to punish those who oppose her. Local officials and trustees have consistently claimed that her administration deliberately delayed permits, denied funding, and even shut down businesses linked to her political adversaries. One trustee went as far as to describe her leadership style as not just authoritative, but downright punishing, stating that she doesn't just want power, she wants to crush anyone who questions her. This reputation for retribution has left many residents feeling frustrated and powerless in their own community. A local park district executive summed up the impact of Henyard's authoritarian style, pointing out her refusal to approve essential park improvement projects. What resident wants to look outside their house and see beat-up stuff? If we can upgrade these things, and you're preventing it with a permit, the residents are the ones suffering. Rather than focusing on improving the quality of life for Dalton's residents, Henyard's tenure has been marked by actions that appear to prioritize personal vendettas over effective governance. Despite these mounting accusations, Henyard continues to maintain her innocence, often framing herself as a victim of politically motivated attacks. In a recent public statement, she lashed out at the media, insisting, "That's just me telling you a little bit, because all this pointing the finger at Tiffany or lying on me, I'm over it now. It's time for me to speak. As I say, truth speaks well." Her words, intended to project strength, instead reinforce the growing public perception that she views herself as unfairly targeted rather than being held accountable for her actions. This deflection of blame has deepened the divide between Henyard's administration and the people she was elected to serve. Rather than addressing concerns about her leadership, Henyard's response to critics has been to accuse trustees, local officials, and even the Democratic Party of sabotaging her efforts. She claims that her removal from the Democratic slate wasn't a result of her leadership failures, but rather due to backdoor politics driven by individuals more interested in their own ambitions than the community's needs. For many residents of Dalton and Thornton Township, her ouster felt more like long overdue accountability than a political attack. The backlash against Henyard has been building for years, fueled by accusations of financial mismanagement, heavy-handed governing tactics, and questionable use of taxpayer dollars. Reports of lavish spending on township credit cards and allegations that police resources were used for Henyard's personal security rather than community safety have only intensified the controversies surrounding her leadership. As time passes, the people who once trusted Henyard's promises of change are now left questioning whether she ever truly intended to serve them at all. With her nomination stripped away and political support quickly crumbling, the big question now is whether Henyard can make a comeback, or if this marks the beginning of the end of her tumultuous political career. Her refusal to accept defeat suggests she won't go down without a fight. But with growing opposition both inside and outside her administration, it remains uncertain if she can overcome the mounting odds. What is certain, however, is that Henyard's leadership has left her community more divided than ever. The battle for the future of Thornton Township is far from over, and the next chapter in this political saga is likely to be just as dramatic. Tiffany Henyard's management of the Dalton Police Department has been nothing short of chaotic. Her recent firing of interim police chief Ronnie Brewer came after a judge ruled he was ineligible to serve, leaving the department without a leader and raising serious concerns about public safety. Meanwhile, Dalton trustees have openly criticized Henyard's leadership, with some even boycotting meetings to prevent her from appointing new allies to key positions. Things took an even more dramatic turn when trustee Chris Gonzalez defended the boycott, saying it was necessary to stop Henyard from appointing a new trustee who would grant her unchecked power in 2025. In retaliation, Henyard threatened to revoke the township's insurance coverage, blaming the trustees' refusal to attend meetings for causing a lack of quorum, which prevented the approval of the insurance trustee. Henyard, in a bold and controversial move, recently compared herself to former President Donald Trump, boasting that she would win by a landslide just like Trump did. However, this self-assurance seems misplaced, considering the ongoing FBI investigation into her alleged corruption. Federal agents have reportedly begun reviewing employment records, adding to the mounting pressure surrounding her leadership. Henyard has vehemently defended her actions, accusing the trustees of putting the community at risk by failing to attend meetings. "We currently have no insurance for the township's vehicles, buildings, and even my closest associates are not exempt from the financial fallout," she said. Meanwhile, former Deputy Police Chief Lacey, who was recently charged with bankruptcy fraud, denied the charges, claiming they were part of a broader effort to build a case against Henyard. The ongoing drama has sparked heated debates on social media, with Dalton residents voicing their frustrations. One commenter said, "She's definitely the cause of the town's lack of insurance. she doesn't pay her own bills, so stop her and keep exposing her. As the dissatisfaction with Henyard and the trustees grows, the community remains deeply divided. Adding to the political turmoil, another legal battle looms over the controversial caucus that recently named Henyard as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor. Henyard's attorney argues that, despite numerous irregularities in the process, including last-minute rule changes and accusations of voter suppression, Harris's team is refusing to back down, insisting that the caucus was lawful and fair. However, election experts have questioned whether the requirements for a full slate of candidates were too restrictive under federal law, potentially opening the door for Henyard to challenge the results in court. As this political drama unfolds, Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris remains focused on his campaign, refusing to engage in petty political banter. His spokesperson noted that Tiffany Henyard is undeniably a warrior who won't give up easily, whether through lawsuits, mobilizing her supporters, or confronting her critics. Henyard is determined to stay in the game, but at what cost? With the town's finances in disarray and residents growing increasingly impatient, the question now is how far Henyard will go to maintain power. The political landscape of Thornton Township and Dalton is in turmoil, and the future remains uncertain. As the dust continues to settle, the community is left wondering what will be left of their town and its government when all is said and done. Stay tuned for more updates on this ongoing saga.